I could see how he's like inching forward as he's like bent over, kneeled down, like he's scooching with his toes forward. And I was like, what is going on? Like, this is advanced.
Howdy, Meowers. Welcome back to the BlushCat podcast, and welcome to our January 2025 K-pop comebacks review. My name is Sydney. What's your name?
Oh my god, my name's Devin. I don't mean to be rude, but your name is so traditional sounding. Does it perhaps have a unique spelling?
It does not. It's SYDNEY.
Oh my, wow. Okay, well thanks for joining us here today, Sydney.
You're welcome. I'm glad to be here because I'm ready to talk about these comebacks. We're going to be going through in order of when they happened, but some of them, like there was a pre-release and then the actual comeback, but we're going to talk about it at like the first release date. And some of them are a pre-release and their full comeback will be next month, but we'll cover what we cover, so you'll have to just listen.
You'll have to just deal with it. We cover what we cover.
Yeah. So, anything that you want to say or maybe ask?
How's the weather been lately?
Oh, you know, weathery.
That does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
I didn't have like a K-pop small talk prepared today. The other ones kind of really just came to me in the moment. So I don't have one.
Okay, well, that's fine with me. Let's just get started. Let's talk about Just Be.
Okay, the fact that this even came out this month is surprising to me because it feels like it was a really long time ago.
Yeah, I feel the same way, sort of, but we are talking about their digital single, Still I Love You. And unfortunately, it is quite literally just that. It's just a digital single, pretty much no promo of any kind whatsoever, not even a music video. So, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'd like to see more, like I feel like I would have gotten a little more from it if there was a little more. It is giving 2-1 vibes though, so I like that about it. But yeah, to me, I just am like, well, that was, yeah, sure, cool, but where's the anything, it's just a song to me. It's just a song.
Okay, well, I agree in that sense, like, where's the rest of it? I'd love to see actual promo for this because I really love this, but to me, it's so much more than just a song. No, it's really good. I like that they, have continued the rock sound because they pull it off really well, and I was wishing that they would continue that sort of style. And I'm glad to see them active as Just Be again.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So yeah, there's not much to say other than it's a really good song. The members were like involved in making it, which is great. They did a really good job.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Boy Next Door.
Okay. Might I say you were spot on with your I don't know, similarity, or what would you call it, your reference last week? Was it last week that you talked about that?
Yeah, last week. Okay, well, thank you. Yeah, so I did say that their music video reminds me heavily of The Legend of Frosty the Snowman in last week's episode, because it does. There's a lot of snow, and I really like that about like this era for them. The styling is very wintry with whites and blues, and then like the aesthetics in the music video are very wintry, so it's very seasonally appropriate. About the actual song, I'm not gonna lie to anyone here. I'm gonna be very honest and say I was a little bit bored on the first listen and while watching the music video. I just didn't really think that much was happening, and it just sounded like their other songs, but without anything to make it really stand out. However, there has been some character development because, you know, I get the chorus stuck in my head. It's a little more fun now than it was initially. Watching stage performances and hearing the song more has definitely helped it to grow on me. And I never thought it was like unlistenable because it was bad. I just didn't think it would be one that I really cared about listening to that much because I didn't feel like there was that much going on or that much to like make it stand out from their other stuff.
Welcome to my world. Not about this, but like the way you just described that is, I feel like how I describe things all the time. Like that's often my initial reaction. Well, I'll say I don't know exactly what my first reaction was, but I do know that I feel like this song is if Earth, Wind, and Fire were a love song. Like I do think it sounds a lot like Earth, Wind, and Fire, so I get what you're saying. Like it just kind of sounds like their other songs, blah blah blah. But I thought the music video was quite good. Like I think its selling point, the best part of the music video is the snowball fight scenes. The other scenes are a little bit just like compilation of times, and it's like, yeah, I can get what you're saying. It's not like that much is happening in those scenes. They're not like building off of anything that much maybe, but I think the other scenes have such a vibe, the snowball scenes, that I think that adds to it. And so I don't really care about the song either, but I think that I'm satisfied with what they did when I watch it and listen to it.
I think that's interesting. Usually it's the other way around with us. But so it definitely has improved, and it's fine to listen to, just not one of my favorite Boy Next Door things, and it was just this single, so we don't have any other songs to talk about from them today. So we're going to talk about GFRIEND. Do you want to talk about GFRIEND? Sure. Okay, so yeah, you heard us right. We're talking about GFRIEND.
And why might that be odd? Well, because when was the last time anyone talked about GFRIEND?
GFRIEND has come back together as GFRIEND. You might have heard us talk about VVs before, and if you have no idea about GFRIEND or VVs is 3 of the 6 members of GFRIEND, and it was their 10-year anniversary. Can you even believe that? I can't. But they released a special song and one other song, and they did a little bit of promo, and so I'll just quickly say what I have to say about it. It is nice to see them as GFRIEND because, I mean, Mago was such a hit, and then we all know what happened. And it feels like it was... I'm just like, if you don't have any idea what happened, we all know what happened. I feel like it was so long ago, but it also feels like it hasn't even been that long at all.
Since Mago?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Since GFRIEND. And it's also pretty cool that they're doing this because, you know, VVs is so active and like they just had a comeback recently, but they can still do stuff as GFRIEND. So I like that, and I like their references to their other songs and choreography and stuff. And the song itself is nice, sure, listenable. I don't have a problem with it, other than I think it sounds so much like I-DLE Fate. And their other song that they have, Always, is also fine, but I immediately thought it sounded so familiar. So both of their songs don't really stand out to me as sounding like super unique because I really feel like there are familiar elements to them.
Okay. I forgot that you had already told me previously that that other one reminded you of I-DLE Fate, and I should have like cross-referenced so that I could know. Because I don't remember that song very well, but I think that it reminds me of something as well. It's something else though. I think that Season of Memories reminds me of IU Lilac, especially with the train that they added to the music video.
Okay.
I really get those vibes from it, even if it doesn't necessarily like sound exactly like it. I get those vibes. But it's not bad, and they went for it with the vocals and everything. And then their other song, I don't know if it reminds me of a specific song, but I think it sounds like a movie, like a High School Musical sort of ending song.
Okay.
You know, like credits, party going on, that sort of thing. I think it sounds like that.
Maybe those are just, maybe I was getting more general vibes, and maybe those are the vibes I was getting. I don't really know. But yeah, I think they did good. Like, I think it was not like a mistake for them to have this reunion or something like that.
Yeah, and I feel like probably for like it's a fitting direction to go for this sort of moment, you know. So like I feel like GFRIEND fans are probably just like, okay, great classic GFRIEND moment for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's all that we're saying about GFRIEND. We are going to talk about a solo debut now, and that would be Minnie from I-DLE's solo debut. And so she actually had a music video come out before the actual album for one of the other tracks on the album, and that was the music video for Blind Eyes Red. So we'll talk about that first, and then we'll talk about the title track, which is called Her. So I'll go ahead and I'll say Blind Eyes Red was sort of surprising, but sort of not, because Minnie definitely pulls off the vibe that is happening in the song and the video and stuff very well. It's not my favorite style of like sound, but you know, it's fine. It has a very ENHYPEN sound to it, I think. And I'm definitely going to talk about some things like that with her other song. But I'm getting Kim Lip. There's definitely a Kim Lip thing going on with the music video, which, sure, why not? That's how I feel about Blind Eyes Red.
Very interesting. I feel like to some degree we're on a somewhat similar wavelength for January. I would say that I guess it's a vibe, but like I don't really like I don't like the sound. I don't like the aesthetic. Like it's definitely not for me. But yeah, at the same time I was like, I guess she's like pulling it off, you know? So I can see how some people would be like, wow, pop off queen, like this is a great moment. But I don't like it personally at all. So like I only listened and watched one time and then I moved on. I said, okay, no thank you, next.
Okay. Well, time for the title track?
I guess, yeah.
Okay, so I'm really curious to see if we're going to be on the same wavelength for this. I don't know, because it's pretty new. We haven't discussed this with each other. But Her has me very pleased. I like it. I really like it. I was surprised that I enjoyed it. No offense to Minnie. Like, I expected her to have something that was good I would expect her to have something good if it was, you know, on the album, like an I-DLE album or something. But given the history of I-DLE member solo debuts, I mean, Mion's I liked stylistically, sure. But I thought the style might have been something I didn't like.
Okay.
But I'm totally fine with it. It does sound very familiar, though. As soon as it started, I thought, I've heard this before. And so, I think it sounds like many, many things. I think it sounds like ENHYPEN Teeth, Drunk Dazed sort of sound, and brought the heat back. And it sounds like I-DLE Queen Card, which, why does it sound like a song from the group that you're in? I don't know. But I do like everything about it. The music video, the styling, the song, the choreography. I think it's all really good. And I guess that's like my initial sort of reaction to it. I can go more in depth, or you can say some stuff.
I mean, I guess I can say some stuff.
Okay.
I realized that it sounds like Queen Card, but it was like fully after. Like I had listened to the whole song, and it's like, I'm her. I'm her. I'm like, Queen Card. Queen Card. Like, it's literally the same. And so because it has that similarity, you might find it more surprising that I too like this song. I actually really like it.
I know, isn't it really like it's really good.
It's really good. When it first started, I didn't get the Queen Card. Well, obviously you're not going to know immediately because it's mainly that chorus part that sounds like Queen Card. But yeah, when it first started, I did think it sounded like something, but I feel like I've thought a lot of things sound kind of like this, so I think it's just sort of a retro sound that, like, you know, like a lot of songs, if they have like synth sounds, are going to sound like the 80s or something, right? There's, I don't remember what song it is or what like era it is, but there's a Selena Gomez song or like album that she did that was very like 70s, I think, maybe like 60s, 70s. And I've thought that other things sound like that before as well, but this I think has that sort of retro sound to it. But yeah, it also sounds like Queen Card, but I really like it. I think that she has such a great job of acting in the music video.
I totally agree.
I don't know why I said she has, but
yeah,
we just went with
weird.
it. Like she just really sells it. It's funny, it's interesting. I really like the whole like I'm her reference that she's doing, that like people say nowadays, like he's him, she's her, I'm her, like she is that girl. But yeah, I don't know, I just like the trendiness of that. I actually like. I feel like a lot of the times trendy phrasing could be used in something and I'm like, oh please, why are they saying that? But this one works. I like it. And so overall, I think that she is delivering as a solo artist. I think sometimes people have a solo debut and I kind of think, why, to a degree? Like I just think, was your concept strong enough? Like were you really like making it a moment? Or was it just a song that maybe would be nice to be on the album? But this I think is like, it is a moment. Like I think it makes sense. Like the solo debut aspect I like.
Okay, I agree. I think it's a great solo debut. And what I was worried about is I was worried that it would not really feel like K-pop. But it does. And I really appreciate that she has a balance of Korean and English, and she didn't just put all the focus to one area. And I mean that with the title track and with the album as a whole, because I am really impressed with the album. I love that she was involved in every song and was involved in composing all but two. And I like that there's a Yuchi feature and a 10 feature, which is so cool. Really good for me. I love that. And I love both of the songs. I think that the album, I think it's really good. And a lot of the songs, they do have a very familiar sound to them. So there's that. But I do really like the vibe. And I'd say that they have a sort of Bratz vibe to them. Yeah. And I'm also maybe getting a little Avril Lavigne.
Okay.
Because there's this pop punk sort of edginess to them that has the idle tomboy vibe. But there's also a lot of whispering and smoothness and deepness. And I think that blend of those two concepts suit Minnie very well in both her sound and her style. And so I think that it was really well put together and really well executed.
Okay, that reminds me. You know what I was really concerned about? Like you're talking about the language balance on the album. I did listen to the album. I don't know if I fully listened to every song, but I at least checked them all out, and I did like the one with Yuchi. But yeah, what I was concerned about when I was listening to her specifically, I thought, and I'm going to be real with all of you guys here, okay? Because it's a concern, like it's a point of contention for many IDLE songs. The lyrics, the English lyrics specifically, I was afraid that would, like, I couldn't really understand what she was saying for some of the parts when I was first listening to the song, but it sounded like it was English. And so I was like, I kind of like this, but I bet if I understood the words, I probably would hate it because that it does happen with me and IDLE songs. But so I was surprised that I was like, wait, no, the lyrics are fine. Like there isn't any sort of vibes that I'm like, oh no, like why are these the lyrics?
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So she, it's really impressive. I'm very pleased. Going back to the music video and her acting for a minute, specifically the part when she's at the heads of the table.
Oh yeah.
That part's really good. I like that part.
Yeah, it is. I like all, like it's a good music video. I like it.
Yeah. And we have to talk about her stages, her performances, the studio tomb, because it's iconic. Like she's doing such a good job. I loved the studio tomb because this was like the first time we saw the choreography. And the lace blindfold moment, that was iconic.
I knew you would love that.
I was like, what's happening? Like, what's she doing? She's like pulling something from her jacket, from her shirt. And then it was like, and I was like, oh. it was really good. It was really iconic. And then she absolutely owned and devoured her M Countdown debut stage, and she did the blindfold thing again. And I love her short hair styling, and just it was really good. Like I'm glad that was the outfit for the debut stage. And like we've like the ponytail bangs thing is a look, but we've seen it so much. So the short hair bangs was a really nice change, and the red stage was really nice as well. I was expecting green.
Oh, really?
For Minnie.
Oh,
like
okay.
I just think of green, but there's been a lot of red and pink, so that's kind of surprising. But her stage presence is very strong, and so it's enjoyable to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, and I was surprised at how well the blindfold part works out. Like a lot of the times they take blindfolds out and it kind of seems a little bit more like propaganda isn't the word. What's the word that it's like a
gimmick?
Yes. Gimmicky.
Yeah.
But it does not seem like a gimmick. Like it works.
Yeah.
She pulls it off so well. And
super effective.
yeah. And also I was surprised at like how well the choreography works when it's so static isn't the right word. Like it's stationary. She stays in the same place for so much of the song. Like she's kind of just in the middle of the stage, and she doesn't really move around, but it doesn't bother me. I think it works as well. Like whatever they've done, I don't know, with the backup dancers or camera angles or whatever, it works even though she's pretty much just standing in the same place the whole time.
Yeah. A lot of the choreography, like the whole choreography is really good, but a lot of it is rather like simple in the fact that it's kind of the backup dancers forming around her while she does something in the middle, but I don't have any complaints about it. And honestly, I was getting some Nine Muses vibes, which is great for me. And I feel like it kind of has a Nine Muses sound as well, maybe Glue, maybe Ticket. I don't know if you're familiar with those songs, but I think that's cool. And now that I think about it, Minnie does sort of have that kind of vibe. And yeah. Oh, it also, her music bank stage from today, I think the set design was sort of adding to it, but I was starting to get some Wonder Girls Sunmi sort of vibes.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I saw, like, I clicked on it real quick so that I could see her outfit, because I was like, I want to see as many styling options as there are available.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't look at the set. I didn't look at the background.
So, yeah, that's Minnie.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that I liked it, especially after seeing Blind Eyes Red, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
After seeing that one and then seeing the other one and liking it as much as I do, I was very surprised, but I'm not upset.
Okay, well, it's time to talk about another debut, and that's the debut of XLOV. And they just have a single, I'm a Bee, but there is a music video and they did promote it.
So I should probably start with this one, right?
Sure.
Okay. I'm a Bee. I was about to rhyme, but I won't. They're very talented. Okay.
Uh-oh, she's starting it like that.
They're very talented, especially in dance, and we've known this for a lot of these boys. Like, we saw them on Boys Planet and it was like obviously great dancer, right? Especially that one part in the dance where the boys like back bending down onto the ground in a kneel, but then like I saw on one of the stages, I could see how he's like inching forward as he's like bent over, kneeled down, like he's scooching with his toes forward, and I was like, what is going on? Like, this is advanced. So extremely talented, but it's just not for me. It's just not a style that I like. And like the song, I get that some people are gonna vibe with the like switch between the other parts of the song and then the more chorus part of the song, or whatever part of the song it is when it really changes. But I think it's more disjointed to me. It's like, but I'm not criticizing the quality of the song. I'm just saying my personal preference that I don't prefer it. But like they are like really good with the dance. Like I can see the amount of skill that they have accumulated with these people. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So honestly, to be expected with you.
Yeah.
Like, because it has strong Taemin energy, and that's of course a boost for me. And so I think overall it's pretty good. I do agree that the song itself has some parts I could do without, but overall I like it. I like that it actually has a message and a meaning, and it's not just some quick release. And I like that Umuti was involved in making the song. We're finally getting debuts from some of these Boys Planet trainees that we'd been waiting for, and so it's nice that we're finally seeing the result of that. And so I agree, the choreography, they're doing a really great job with that. There's a lot of fresh and dynamic moves, and it seems like something that the members, like only those members are going to be able to pull off those moves.
Exactly.
That type of thing. And the music show stages I've seen have all been good, and they've had some pretty interesting and unique styling as well.
Yeah. And that's another thing is like the dance. It's not that people haven't danced that way before. Like, sure, they have. But for that sort of dance to be for a group's regular song, for them to be just performing that regularly is very unique.
Yeah. Also, I'd say it seems like all of the members earned their spot. It seems like they all deserve to be there, and they're all offering me something.
Yeah.
So I'd say good job. I will look forward to what's next and getting more than just one song. I'm interested in the direction of this group. And also, I like the name. I like the name XLOV.
Honestly, like, compared to some of the names that are coming out nowadays, sure, I'll take it.
Oh, also, just to shout out their album art, I think that was really pretty and cool looking. And they also had done some sort of thing, even had done a similar thing when they were about to debut and the members sketched like the logo. So XLOV had done this, and wow, they were all very good. Like, they definitely have some artistic people in that group, it seems.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Well, we're going to move right along and talk about 17 BlushCat's comeback. And do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first again.
Okay.
BlushCat, I could say the same thing I just said. Very talented. They really are great with the music, with the vocals, with the energy, with the stage presence. We love that. And so I like the sound of the song and the vocal tones. Like, I like that a lot. But I just really don't like the music video that much. But also the promo really bothered me. Like, I tried to check out a couple of stages, and I get that they were doing a thing, right? Like, I get that it was intentional to sort of look like it's like a TV show or something. So they like would show the audience and stuff. But like the first one that I clicked on, when it had like this massive looking audience and everyone's like, wow, it just instantly bothered me so much. And I get that that might be like a Scrooge type of thing, you know, like, oh, why are you bothered by that? Like, that they have a big crowd or whatever. But like, it just screamed to me like the direction that BTS has gone, where it's like they are the only time they're gonna do a music show is if it's gonna be like a big special thing, and they can't just like do regular things, and it's like has to be a moment. And it's like, we know that you guys are that great, we get it, you don't have to like, I don't know, it just changes the vibe to me. It doesn't give me music show vibe, it gives me like, we are better than a music show vibe. And so it just instantly rubs me the wrong way. But I really like the sound of the song and vocal tones, I must reiterate, is quite enjoyable. I like it a lot. It's just, it got soured to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I am going to say it's actually not my favorite BlushCat title out of the ones that they have. It's probably my least favorite. I think I don't like the sound this time around. Like, it has home run vibes, and that's probably honestly my least favorite 17 title track. And it also has a sort of Mamamoo sound.
Oh, wow. Oh.
But I do like the way that they're using their vocals. So like I sort of do, but I sort of don't, because I like the power behind their vocals, but I don't really like the stylistic direction that their vocals are being used in for this song specifically.
Wow, okay, that sounds really advanced.
I don't know if it makes any sense, but I don't know. There's something about the style of it that makes me not enjoy this one as much, but I am still getting the classic BlushCat energy that we all know and love when I watch the music show stages. So that's really where this comeback is shining for me. And I know at the end of year performances, if they go to those things, it would be a fun party like it is the other times that they've performed. And I know I still would appreciate it, but I'll agree with what you said when it was a little bit soured to me. And the music video, I agree, I don't like it. It's just, it's a little too hybified for me.
Yeah.
I liked seeing some familiar faces in the music video. There's a lot of cameos in it, but just generally,
I don't think I noticed one cameo.
Generally, I don't care for the denim looks. I don't care for the sort of I like the message of the song, but I don't like the way that the spreading the message concept was portrayed in the video.
Agree, definitely.
I think it can be done in a way that's like, you know, we're about to talk about IVE pretty soon, and their music video you could say is similar in a way.
Yes.
And that is a style I'm more okay with. And the fact of like spreading a message and using other people to do that. I just, whenever we explain things like that, I feel like it's just, you're either gonna get it or you're gonna just completely disagree and be like, what are you even talking about?
Yes.
But and also, you know, the like bar saloon sort of elements it has, like, not for me. That's even less to my taste. So stylistically, it's not my favorite, but I don't think that they did a bad job. The execution is there. They were doing some really like silly things, but also some like, oh wow, like this is a different move with the choreography. And so I appreciate that. And that's about all that I have to say.
Okay, you brought up the jeans though, and it reminded me how much, not to be rude, but how much I hate some of the backup dancer styling options that they had. I don't think I saw them all, but like they would have like sweatpants that had like jeans, like picture of jeans printed on them.
Oh,
Like
what?
that's a big thing nowadays. I feel like it's a trend to have like, it's like a cotton t-shirt dress, but it's like has a image of like a different sort of dress printed
that's
on it,
awful.
as if like, yeah, but it's like the shape is still wrong, and so like there's
like
edges.
that man's shirt.
Kind of, but it's like
Okay.
there's literally like it would be like if there's white edges, like if you shrunk down his shirt, like if you use the scale tool in Photoshop, then you like shrunk it down and put like a white border of another shirt around it.
That sounds so incredibly weird, and I definitely didn't notice that.
Yeah, so I'm like, why can they not just all be wearing jeans? Like
Yeah.
So there was some stylistic choices specifically with the jean element that I really, really did not like. But what you're saying about the spreading of the message in this song and then comparing it, yeah, to IVE's song, like I totally get what you're talking about.
Okay.
And I feel like in a way it's sort of like maybe a nice way to simplify it would be to be that like the Busok Soon way is sort of having like, you know, guerrilla marketing. Like it's sort of like, here, like throw out the flyers, you know, like into the next, like spread the word, like, you know, here's the news, it's here. Versus the other one is more of like, it's less like mass, like, you know, catch the fire, spread the word. And it's more maybe like internal, like, oh, let's change, like, you know.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying completely, and I think that it's very interesting that both of these came out like in the same time for us to talk about them at the same time, because it's definitely like a juxtaposition.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad that it made sense to someone. Okay, let's just move along then. We are going to talk about RIIZE.
Why don't you start? I've started the past 2 times.
Okay. We're talking about their Hug single, which is a remake of the TVXQ song. And I actually just found out recently that Hug was TVXQ's debut.
Oh, wow.
Which I had no idea.
Debuts were different back then.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, so I've been loving this a lot. I'll just say all my thoughts. The arrangement of the song is really good meaning in the way that I think the members suit their parts that they've been assigned. Their vocals are vocaling like there's no tomorrow. I'm glad that they did it on M Countdown and at their fan meeting, and I guess SM actually did something right by releasing it as a single. Yeah, it's just such a cute little concept, and it's perfect for winter, so I appreciate that. And I like this vibe from RIIZE a lot. It's very reminiscent of Love 119 in the winteriness of it. So I think that they knew what they were doing there. I think they were like, you know, Love 119 was such a hit, was such a moment, and so Hug will be perfect for you guys. And the fact that Anton got the cat part means so much to me. I don't think you understand. When I listen to this song with headphones and his part comes on, I may or may not replay that section sometimes just because his vocals, his Anton, vocalist, yes, the vocal color, oh, it's so good. And that part is, so iconic. It really is iconic. Like that and the first line, obviously, are probably the two most iconic, well-known lines of this song. And so I just love that. And once again, going back to the M Countdown stage, everyone seemed to be having a good time on that. So that was nice to see. The energy was there and they all did a good job, in my opinion. And I do want to shout out Eunseok's moment, actually, when he's off to the side. Because one, I love moments like that when one member breaks away and either sings or dances like to or at the rest of the group. And two, because I was so surprised to hear his vocals for so long. He actually got, a moment. So I think it was a good choice.
Okay. Yeah. It was a good choice. At first I was kind of like, why are they doing this? Like, just in general, like, because, like, who cares? But I do think it's nice. And I think that it's that much better with there being a stage of it. Like, if they hadn't promoted it on a stage, I feel like I would have been a little bit more like, oh, that's that random song that they, like, have, like, a video for. But because they had a stage for it, it, like, makes it more real to me. It makes it more relevant to me. And also, it had, like, a more modern feeling because they get to have, like, more modern styling on the stage. Whereas, like, when they have the performance special video, they're just wearing, like, school outfits. So it's not very, it doesn't seem current, So I like that there's, like, an instance of it in, like, current style. I feel like that, like, freshens it up for me. But I cannot help but be reminded of Jessica Simpson, Take My Breath Away, every single time that I hear this song.
Every time you've said that to me, I forget when you say it the next time.
That's funny. But yeah, they did good. The vocals are vocaling. I think Wanbin, like,
I think Wanbin too. You know what? Me too.
I feel like this song is really well suited for him. Like, I feel like you were talking about the vocal color. I feel like Wanbin's vocal color, maybe, that's, like, being expressed throughout this song, I just feel like, wow, this seems so Wanbin to me. Like, I don't even know if I know him that well, but, like, this just seems like it fits, It seems like he shines here.
That's interesting. I mean,
you're like, I don't think that at all.
I agree, but I think I get more Seulgi.
Oh, well, to me, Seulgi is just, like, always, the vocal king. So it's like, at this point, it's not like it wasn't my focus. Whereas Wanbin, like, I feel like I was getting a moment from him a little more.
Yeah, like the way he starts the song, that is so perfect.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah. They really did a good job picking the members to do the parts. It's all really working.
Like, in no way to discount Seulgi, obviously. But, like, I'm just saying, like, I already know that Seulgi's like that, like, all the time, 100% of the time.
Okay, yeah, I agree. But that's all that we're saying. We're talking about IVE now. IVE, okay? 1, 2, 3, IVE.
Okay, yes, you have to talk about IVE first, though. I know you're going to intro it and stuff, but you have to start with them because this is, like, your moment of 2025.
Okay, thank you.
Well, the first of your moments, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Let me do the bit. I've released Rebel Heart, which is just the pre-release from their IVE Empathy album, which is being released in February. So they do have a music video for Rebel Heart, and they have taken it to music shows, thankfully. So I will talk about it, and yes, I know it's a little unfair because IVE is one of those groups for me that it's going to be very difficult for me to say something bad about them. It's not my fault I've been loving everything that they do so much. They just keep doing such a good job. And so I love everything about this. The song is really, really good. The live stages have been incredible. I love the energy and the vocals and their stage presence. It's really good. And of course, the music video was great as well. It reminds me of Luna Butterfly. And this is sort of what I was talking about before. And like, it has a message and there is sort of a social call out theme to it. But it's more subdued in a way. Like, it's executed in a way that I'm okay with. And the members' acting from the concept film to the music video itself has been excellent as well. And I need to point out that Yujin in the red jacket is throwing things back to Either Way, which was a historical moment, so that's cool. Going back to the concept film for a moment, I have to point out how amazing that was. Their concept videos, like the things that they do that are like that are always really good, and I love things in that style. And I personally really like the concept photos as well. The styling, so good, so interesting. I like the little backpacks that they've been having. That's really cute. And I love Isa's purpley pinky hair, and that it's actually been used for a comeback. She didn't just dye it that way for fun. Like, we get a whole era with her having that hair. So nothing bad to say about this.
Okay, but you're not going to bring up the vibes of like how it has a little bit of a fantasy styling vibe to it, and that was your wish?
Oh, yeah, it does. You're right.
I mean, it could have been stronger of that vibe,
yeah,
but it's a start,
it's
right?
a start.
It's a start for me as well in terms of like street styling a little bit. Like, you know,
oh, really?
they're wearing like jeans, skirts, you know, like regular everyday clothes, but that are very interesting. Like, they had so many interesting pieces to their styling. But let me rewind it back. I'm not going to talk about the styling yet. I have to start with the song and everything. The song, it's definitely grown on me. It's definitely become more relevant to me. The first time I heard it, I was like, well, it's just very like anthem-y in terms of the like sort of chorusy chant vibe. But that's toned down a little bit the more I've heard it. And I mean, they just do a great job. Their mics are on, like, literally in the stage performances. They're like, there's a perfect instance of being able to tell someone's mic, like not a handheld mic, the other kind of mic, being like a little bit off. Like, Yujin literally has a moment where she moves her mic towards her mouth more, like she adjusts it, and you can tell, like, you can hear so clearly. I'm like, this is like, the audio is so mics on, you know, like, so their voices are so clear, and it, like, they just do such a good job. So that always like boosts things so much. Like, people don't understand how much that adds. I also really liked, I know, I like literally was like, I gotta talk about the song first, and I talk about it for like 2 seconds. But I like that they have a distinct sort of color palette and style throughout. You know, we're getting closer to that thing that we wanted of like at least being able to see, you know, these are stages for Rebel Heart. Yeah. Like, so far they've all been cohesive. It hasn't been too, they haven't switched it up too much. But it's still, like I said, very interesting pieces. I really like the Rebel sort of styled stage. Did you see? It's like the one that was like more like Rebels. That was fun. They've even got like nail art that's interesting and stuff. For me, the important aspects here of this comeback are the styling. And even though it's not my favorite color palette, and even though there's only like one sparkly skirt that I saw, like where's the sparkle? It's still really good.
Okay.
But also like they're doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
And I love I love how individualistically everyone is styled all the time. You know, like I love that they all go together, but they all always seem like their own vibe so much. Like RIIZE, I feel like is literally the most like Japanese styled Japanese K-pop artist. Like she's like, I will not, like this is just the way that I will always be styled, and like the cutest little like when she had the backpack that had the wings, like I was like, oh my god, this is perfect.
Yeah, I love that.
So yeah, I just feel like it's been a lot of fun. And now that you talk about the Busok Soon thing and then this, like, yeah, it's interesting. But I'm eager to see what the like full comeback is gonna be if this was just the beginning.
Yeah, it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. But we're moving on. We're talking about an interesting release. It's a release called Lucky from Seulgi and Wan Sun. And you want me to just quickly go through? Okay, so I didn't hear anything about this until actually YouTube recommended me the video when it came out. So I'm side-eyeing SM right now, but what's new? I actually really like it. I had no idea what to expect, but I think it's a bop. And the thing that I'll say about it is both Seulgi and Wan Sun do a good job. And when I watch the performances, I really appreciate that they're balancing each other and getting their own moments, and that Wan Sun's presence isn't overbearing. Like, I don't think it's embarrassing for her to have this song and perform it, or to be performing it with an idol that's younger than her or whatever. It's not really one of those sort of moments. It's more just like, yeah, sure, this is like a song. Like, go ahead, perform it.
Right. Yeah. Like for context, she's like an older lady. Like,
yeah,
it's not just like older than me as in like a couple years.
Yeah.
Like she's in a different like age bracket. I don't know how old she is, but yeah. I feel the same way. Like, for one, I wrote down 80s explosion because literally, like, I've never seen something more 80s in my life, I don't think, since that music video. It was a lot.
Wan Sun is known as, I believe, the Korean Madonna.
Oh,
just for some context.
Okay, well, that's what I was gonna consider her. Like, I was like, it is Madonna. So that makes perfect sense. But yeah, the only other thing that I have written down besides 80s explosion is that Seulgi was a great match. Like, I just felt like like they balanced each other so well. It worked so well. Like, I didn't know if they were trying to do like because at one part kind of looks like they're supposed to look as if they are mirroring one another.
Right.
So I didn't know if Seulgi's supposed to be like her younger self or what, but I was like, Seulgi's vocals sound so similar. Like, and yeah, the Wan Sun, I was going to say the other lady, but I was like, no, I know her name. She, like, her dancing and performance and everything, yeah, it's not lacking. She's not just sort of like, well, I want to come back with something, but like I'm going to need somebody to sort of pull the weight performance-wise or anything.
Right.
They matched each other. Like, it's just like what you said. A great match. I think it worked really well.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about ZEROBASEONE. Now, we have a few different things to talk about here. It's a little bit of a random assortment, and it's a little bit maybe interesting because we are talking about some like pre-releases, or like the full things are yet to come in both sides of what we're talking about. Let me just say what we're talking about. We're going to be talking about Doctor Doctor, which is the pre-release for their album that will be coming out in February. And we're talking about Now or Never and Only One Story, which are the pre-released Japanese songs that do actually have music videos, but their first Japanese EP, Present, is not out yet at the time that we're recording this episode, but they're only having 2 other new Japanese songs, so we're just going to talk about the ones that are out now. And yeah, so what should we start with? Let's start with the Japanese songs.
Okay.
What's the matter?
I maybe forgot to take notes on those.
Oh no.
Which wouldn't be that big of a deal if I didn't have to think and remember 1,500,000 songs every month, okay? But so I listened to them. I saw the music videos, but do I remember? I remember my general thoughts. So okay. I'll just have to work off of the most basic thing.
Okay. So why don't you talk about Only One Story?
Oh, I don't think I can talk about them separately.
Oh, okay. Well, then why don't you just go ahead?
I just remember seeing and listening to the song. Maybe I'll remember more once you talk about them. But I think in general, I thought for both of them, like, well, it's better than Yura Yura because that one, I just couldn't get over the fact that it sounded like they were saying you're a baby. So I like these ones better.
Okay. Is that it?
I mean, if you talk about them,
okay.
I might remember.
Okay. So I enjoy both of them a lot. I think that they're really good. I really liked Yura Yura. That was such a moment, and I had that playing all the time. And so I think that these are really good follow-up Japanese songs. Only One Story, I was a little bit bothered by the fact that the music video wasn't for the whole song, but I'm glad that they released a dance practice for it because I think the choreography is really good. It's very dynamic and fun and interesting, and the song is a bit lengthier, which I appreciate. I do feel like these songs that we've talked about, there are more that are back to regular song length, which is really good. But so Only One Story is a very dynamic song, and so the choreography definitely matches that. And the music video is at the same location as AB6 Stay Young, and that era was so monumental for me. I didn't really actually even care about the Stay Young music video, but it's just nice to be reminded of that time. So I thought Only One Story was really good. I love that it sounds like an anime song. That's always so good for me. And as for Now or Never, should I
yeah,
okay,
I don't remember anything so far.
Okay, Now or Never, I was thinking the first time that I watched it that it definitely wasn't as good as Only One Story and like listened to it, but every time after, like when I've just heard the song itself or when I've seen the dance practice, because they have a dance practice for this song as well, I was like, okay, this is a lot better. I think it's just the music video that I don't really care about, which, you know, nothing new. But it just, the music video felt a little familiar to me, and I don't know, it wasn't really enhancing the song, but the song is really good. It's a little bit darker, and I don't know, it's just not really what I was expecting sound wise, but it's really good. I like the song. And something that was like, okay, it's probably one of ZB1's better music videos, to be honest, but it's just, I didn't like the baseball thing. That was so random.
Oh, the baseball thing.
Yeah.
I remembered something. Okay.
Like, wasn't that just such a random choice?
Yeah, made me think of Twilight.
And I felt like they have done that. Like, I'm like, haven't I seen them in these exact baseball uniforms before? And maybe that's part of it, like, I don't know, but I didn't think it really fit with the concept of the video. But something interesting about it was the low shots. This is my biggest takeaway from the music video, is the shots when the fireworks are going off and they're dancing. The camera is like on the ground and they're looking down. Like the angle is pointing up, and I just thought it was such a different shot for a video.
Okay.
So, yeah. Both songs really good. Music videos I don't really care about. And the choreography for both of the songs is really good as well.
Par for the course. I was going to say that my memory was 0% jogged, but I do remember the baseball outfits, and I do remember the fireworks now that you talk about it. I cannot remember the songs at all, and I cannot remember any more of the music videos. Maybe I'll have to get back to you guys when we talk about ZB1 again in the future, when like the stuff fully comes out. But I will say that the fireworks scene specifically, I have to be consistent about this, you know. It does keep coming back through. Idols doing something in a music video that is not something that other people should probably do. Not to say that you can't set off fireworks, but literally fireworks are so dangerous, and the way that they're set off in that music video, like the way that it looks like it's one of the members starting the fireworks, and then there's like a ginormous fireworks show behind them, I feel like is really a bad message. To be that, like, you know, blah, 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 like this is bad sort of vibe. You know, I have to stay consistent because I pointed it out with other people's music videos. Like that just seems like they're like, oh, look at how fun it is to set off fireworks, and then it's like the most spectacular fireworks show, when in reality, if you were to try to do that, that would be extremely dangerous.
I don't remember the way that they make it look like one of the members is setting them off, but I do remember being a little bit nervous that it looked like the fireworks were falling on top of them as they were dancing.
Yeah, like it was very much like the fireworks are right here, rather than we're on a stage and the fireworks are way behind us, like in the sky. Because I've seen that before, but this was not like that. This is like, look at us dancing in these fireworks. Yeah. I was like, this is kind of crazy. Like, isn't this like, I don't know. I mean, I guess people will like do things with fire and stuff like that, but that just seems less like people don't think of fire as a toy, but people think of fireworks as a toy, maybe. I don't know. I don't know the fireworks laws in Korea, so I don't even know if it would be possible for them to buy them, but yeah.
Okay, well, sorry that you don't really remember, but I do have my biggest qualm about these Japanese releases is actually the font for the present album. I really don't like it. I could not tell that it said present, and it's with a Z, so that's why I'm kind of saying it like present. Like, I just really, it's so hard to read. I don't like the font.
Very interesting. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. But let's talk about Dr. Doctor.
I love poor graphic design. Like, I love to be like, are these people crazy? Like, what were they thinking? Okay, but yeah, Dr. Doctor.
So, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So, here's the thing. It's a little bit, like, too hospital for me. Like, it's a little bit, like, scary. Like, you know, like, I feel like it's the concept, they've taken it almost too far, you know, to be like in the hospital clothes, in the hospital, like in the hospital beds. It's a little extreme, you know. It's really like you're really making people think about being in a hospital. So that's, you know, a little but otherwise I think the music video wasn't too bad. The song I feel like is pretty catchy. I like the vibes of the song. I like the different like flow sort of moments that it has. I don't really like the ending of the song or the music video. I feel like the song all of a sudden was just done. But then the music video was going on for like forever after. I think that the part where they're walking out at the end is not funny enough to me to warrant it being that long. I know that's rude. I'm sure a lot of people love that part, but to me, I'm just kind of like, okay, yeah, I get it. I don't really like it very much, but once again, par for the course for ZB1. Sometimes those sorts of decisions I end up not liking. It's just not for me, I guess. But I do, like I said, still really like the song, and I've only seen one stage for it. I don't know if they're going to do more, but the stage was quite elaborate, and I loved their pretty microphones. Did you see their microphones?
I did.
Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. I loved that they have so many different styles of pretty microphones too. Like, it's not just like everyone has a different color of shininess or everyone has a different color of bedazzle. There's all kinds of things. And so, yeah, overall, I think it was like a fun Valentine's concept, like I like that it's nice for the Valentine's season. I like that it's different. I like that it's catchy. I feel like people are going to think that I think it's way worse based on what I've said, so I'm trying to make it sound better to move it up to more of the way that I feel about it, because I do really like it, but I don't know what else to say.
Okay. I think that covered it.
I focus on the critical elements when I talk about things a lot more often, I think. And it makes people think that I like things less than I do. Like, you have to understand that if I'm saying that I really like it, like, that's high praise for me. Like, that means a lot coming from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like you'll talk to me about stuff and you'll be like saying all these things about it, and I'm like, oh, I liked it, and you'll be like, oh, no, I liked it too. And I'm like, you didn't make it sound like you liked it.
I don't know. I just feel like sometimes those, like, the more critical elements are the things that I feel like are important to mention, because the liking it part is just like the part that's already there or something. It's like, I like this, but maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's like, well, if these are the things to me that could have, if they were changed, it could have been even better. I would have liked it even more.
Right.
So
yeah.
you want to like point out why you don't like it, or like, you want to point out what would make it even better.
Right. Or it's even like, even though I had this and this problem, I still really liked it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I must like it a lot if, even though I said those criticisms about it, I still like it.
Yeah. I get that.
Okay. So yeah, how did you feel?
I thought similar things in some ways to you. I'll talk about the M Countdown stage first, actually, just because it was what you brought up recently. And I'll say that it was so good, and I really liked the blue and the pink colors and the hearts and cute elements and stuff like that. But I was like, oh no, they've stolen the Kumiya shelf, because that like fluffy bookshelf is like, there was basically that bookshelf in Kumiya sometimes. And so I was like, uh-oh, Jaechon, like, take it back. But it wasn't
coming for his brand.
They're coming for his brand a little bit. It wasn't like the same one, but it was the same at the same time. But yes, it was very elaborate, and I was very surprised to see that they had such a, like, the set was like a maze.
Yeah.
And I also think it was interesting how the first half was very dynamic instead of just standing with the mics the whole time. And so I thought that it was a good stage. And I think the song is wonderful. I thought it might be a bit of a snooze fest, if I'm being honest, when I saw the music video teaser. I was like, I don't know, like, why are they wasting their time with this as a pre-release? But no. Don't get me wrong. It's really good. Like, it's actually so good. I really like it. And I love that it has that mellowness to it, but there's actually a lot of fun elements in the lyrics and flow that like enhance the song.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to shout out Terry's chorus part. I have to, because it's my brand, and I love that part so much. And also the rap parts.
Yeah.
They're really enjoyable.
Yeah.
So, good song, really good song. And to me, this is probably one of ZB1's best music videos, if not their best. I do agree the hospital thing is a little bit much, but at the same time, I find it unique.
Definitely. And like, I guess, yeah, if I were to compare it to their other ones, this one, aesthetically speaking, and like, you know, like the visual, what's the word? Concept? Like the vision, you know, the vision like is clear and is not like muddled by other random things or anything. Like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I had no idea that Jung Kyung-ho was going to be in the music video. I didn't hear anything about that. I don't know if anybody did or if it was a complete surprise. But the impact was so strong as someone who is a fan, like, of his acting. I've seen a lot of dramas with him in it. And so I thought it was so fun to see him in the music video, especially since he was doing a role that's similar to one of his characters.
Yeah, I do feel like if I were there to really get the reference, I would have thought that that part was really funny. But otherwise, I'm just like, I get that it's a reference, but it doesn't mean anything to me.
Okay, well,
I have one more thing to say because you made me think of it.
Okay.
I feel like this song is such a perfect song for ZB1. Like, it's the type of song that makes me think, I don't know if it would sound the same if another group did it. You know? Like, I feel like it brings their sound of their vocals, like, that brings so much to it.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I can see how this would be difficult to pull off for other groups. And I also actually do want to say, I agree that it's great for Valentine's Day. It is like a little early, but I guess if their album is coming out the 24th, I think, of February, it's like better early than late.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that's it for ZB1 today. Now it's time for our last group of the episode, CIX.
Been a while since anyone's heard that name. No, not that long. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like, it's not like GFRIEND.
It's not like GFRIEND, but it has literally been a year.
Yeah.
So, we're talking about their title track, Thunder, and they have the Thunder Fever album, which was bringing us some new songs, you know, some. So, how about I just talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll start with the concept photos, actually. And I'm going to say that they're so different for CIX, in my opinion. I was pretty surprised to see the style that they had, like their styling, but also the way, I guess, that the photos looked.
Yeah.
So I was very curious to know what the song would sound like. And if I'm being honest, the concept photos are a little bit, like, simple, like, in terms of it's just like a backdrop and props, that sort of thing. But they were still serving, and guess what? They had swords in one of the versions, so
wow.
I'll consider that a small win for me. And so yeah, those were my first, you know,
impressions?
Like, that was what I first saw. That was our
first exposure,
taste,
right?
Yeah,
okay.
of this comeback. And then I heard the song and the teasers, and I was pretty sure it was going to be super good. And when I saw how much everyone, but particularly Yoongi, if I'm being honest, was serving based on that teaser alone, I knew it was going to be really good. And so, yeah, I think that the song is really good. And I also think that the styling is pretty good. And I need to acknowledge Yoongi 500 times over because, wow, what an icon. The eye makeup is the icing on the cake for this styling that's happening. Really exciting stuff. And it kind of reminds me of Jungle.
Okay.
Kind of. Seeing their M Countdown performance and having the backup dancers and their styling that they had for that day just reminds me of that. The choreography, though, is enjoyable. I really like the hand moves that they do during the chorus. And the song itself, very exciting. I like it.
I think it's interesting that you pointed out Yoonhee so much, because when the music video started and he appeared, I was like, who is that?
Oh no.
But no, I know, it took me a second. Like, he just seemed so different from the last time I saw him, style-wise. This was like, it's like the Seulgi song is like 80s explosion. This is like edgy 80s, you know, like it's still so 80s, but in less of an 80s way than the other one. It's a little edgier. I really like it. I really like it. It's just that, you know, it's,
you can't help but be missing.
Yes.
Asian Young.
I mean, if it's like your favorite person, you know, is missing, like, especially vocal tone wise, it's rough for me. It's just a little rough. But I do really like it. I think that the tempo and, once again, the flow are so satisfying. Like the song and the dance. Like, I feel like the dance kind of never stops. It's very like on to the next, but it's in such a satisfying way. It doesn't feel like it's in too chaotic or exhausting of a way. Yes. It's just very satisfying quality. The last thing I feel like I need to say is that seeing their stages, especially after seeing so many of the other ones this month, ZB1, MINNIE, Busak Soon, I was shocked. I was like, I can't believe that they really just have zero budget. Like, there's nothing. It's just the screens. So I would have loved to see, like, that would have been cool to have some more dynamic elements to the stage scene set design. But they don't need it. It's just that, like, compared to so many of the other things that I was watching, this, you could like tell how empty it was. So I was like, wow. And you said, because you said their photo cards or the concept photos were a little just like a backdrop and some props, and I'm like, I think that they had zero budget. So yeah, but I mean, a great song.
Great song. The music video, it's obviously not my favorite from CIX because I prefer the lore, like more drama style music videos from them, but it's fine. I liked the scenes at the end better when, you know, there was like the heart. That would have been interesting to have some stage design look like that. Like, M Countdown could have easily had that as a concept if they had a budget for a set. But M Countdown didn't even give them a thumbnail, and it's that crazy. Can, you know, be something that is pretty easily done, I think. So I was really shocked to see that there was not an actual thumbnail.
Yeah, like, that was insane. And okay, I'm not even gonna bring up the other thumbnails from the other groups, but that was insane that they like don't even have a thumbnail. But then also, did you see the stage, like, whatever is the next one that they did?
Music Bank?
It was a Music Bank. When you first click into it, you know how it'll be like showing the people with their names and like music will be playing? I feel like that wasn't, and maybe that's not their fault, I don't know, but I felt like it wasn't even cut at a good place. Like, the music,
really?
I literally rewound the video all the way to the beginning to be like, wait, did it like start playing not at the beginning? Because I felt like the way that the song was like starting in the place that they cut was awkward. I mean, to a degree, I guess I get it because it was like the chorus, but I don't know, it just felt weird to me. I was like, are they just cheaping out in every single way with this group? Like, that's not fair.
Oh, I didn't notice, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, God.
But the actual album, just to mention that, Bad Moves, I really like that one. It's very CIX, and so I just, like, enjoyable album, but I don't know why they had to re-record Lovers or Enemies and My Name is Shadow. It's just, it's a little painful. Like, why did we have to do that?
They could have literally just left those songs in the past, right?
Yeah.
Like, why do they have to be re-recorded and put on this new album? Like, there could have just been only the other songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think despite C9 being just a horrible, really just terribly bad company, like really bad. At least if we can, look at the bright side, CIX, they do have great music.
That's true.
So
That's true.
I hope that they get some recognition this comeback because people are missing out.
Yeah. I was missing out for years.
Yeah. But now you know. Now you know the power of cinema.
Now I know the power of cinema. It's true.
So that concludes our January 2025 K-pop comebacks discussion. What did you think?
I liked it, honestly. I feel like this was one of the times that we have been the most, like, the closest to being on the same page.
I wasn't expecting you to share your thoughts on it.
But I just feel like, wasn't it fresh,
Yeah, it was different. Yeah, because we were on the same page for so much of it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're always on the same page for the ones that are like stand out, like, oh my God, this is obviously incredible.
Yeah.
But
and they were fresh things to talk about.
Definitely.
So we want to know what you Meowers think as well, and you can let us know by leaving a comment wherever you're listening, because the BlushCat podcast is available wherever you listen to podcasts. But I don't care if I said available a little bit weird, okay? Ignore it. But if you are listening on YouTube and you haven't subscribed yet, I really don't know why. You could please subscribe right now and turn on notifications so that you don't miss our great, amazing content, because we do offer a lot of it. We're just constantly pumping out content.
But not too much that it would bog down your feed, obviously.
No.
But we do have YouTube exclusive content, so.
Yes. And, if you're not listening on YouTube and you're maybe listening on Spotify, don't forget to pop over to our profile and save our K-pop playlist to your library. And regardless of where you're listening, there's surely some way to rate this episode positively, so you can like it if you're listening on YouTube, or give us 5 stars if you're on Spotify, or do whatever else you do on those other platforms that you're maybe listening on. And thank you for supporting BlushCat.
Yes, thank you so much. And if you happen to ever have any connection to any K-pop group personally, and you would like to give them an invite from us to be on the show, we're always looking for our first K-pop guest.
Okay, sure.
Better than BuzzFeed.
Not any group, though.
Well, I figured
we have our limits.
I figured we shoot our shot. Like, if we don't want to do it, then at least we got the invite through, though.
Sure.
I suppose that would be awkward. We invite and then we're like, oh, never mind. Just think of the groups that we've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And if we've never really talked about them, we maybe wouldn't want them on the show.
Yeah.
I don't know. Use your judgment.
Use your judgment. That's always important. That's the lesson of today's episode. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. Stay meowing. This has been Sydney
and me. Bye.
Meow 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 meow.